John, great to meet you. It's really obvious that for you and Conor to be at the level that you guys are at, you need to be really disciplined, right?
Mm-hmm.
But bring in a camera crew and it has to cause some sort of distraction. So when you heard that a camera crew was going to be following you guys around, what was your first thought?
Yeah, that would have been my first thought. Like, keep them away. You know, we're in here to do work, and then on the night of the fight, we'll put on a show.
Yeah.
But Conor was, like most of the things he does, he was a bit ahead of his time, realizing that if we could capture the whole journey, because he was very sure of where he was going to be the world champion. I didn't see it as clear, as quick as him. And of course, now we look back that we do have footage from our dusty old, industrial unit that we were training in, right up to our state-of-the-art gym that we're in now. So I'm glad he talked me into having this crew and having no privacy for the last 4 years.
In 2005, you were kicked out of your premises, rents were rising. I couldn't believe that you were interviewing to go back to your engineering job. At that point, a lot of people would have gone, you know what, the universe is telling me I need to give up. What made you go, I'll just give it one last go?
It's funny, I remember I brought my dad to look at a unit, and that fell through. It was the 5th in a row that had fallen through. And he still laughed because I turned to him and I said, well, I guess I'm going to have to get a real job. And that's become like a joke at every Christmas my dad loves telling people. But yeah, what I meant was I guess I'm going to have to just kind of go back to somewhat normal life. Like a lot of things in my life, just by luck, you know, I was checking online every day, looking at the papers, driving around the area. And on one of the last few days where I would have been at a stage where I had to make money, you know, I had to earn money to pay the rent. And I just came across what I thought at the time. I look at it now and I see I wouldn't go near that place, but at the time I saw a palace. Now it was a palace with a tree growing in the middle of it and bits of it falling down. But I could see in my head, okay, we'll clear it out, we'll paint it up, we'll put mats down. This is going to be the most spectacular gym in the world. So yeah, just every now and again, if you keep working at something, you get little bits of luck. And that was just one of those times where I got a little bit of luck.
And what was it about coaching? What made you want to coach?
You know, I love teaching. I just get such a kick out of somebody having a problem with something. You help them along, and then you see this kind of smile, this kind of change in them. Like, I taught my mother how to use a computer, and I wanted to be, I actually would have been probably a maths teacher if this hadn't happened. I have a degree in engineering, but I was going to go back and teach maths. So I like teaching. I just like the buzz I get out of showing somebody a solution to a problem.
You're teaching quite a few people, you've got quite a few people on your card, but then there's all these celebrities that want to train with John Kavanagh. So when Chris Martin comes to town and says, can I have a session? What's going through your head?
Yeah, I remember that. It was a Sunday night, and when the phone rang, it was an American number, and I was thinking, who's this? And then Conor and his crew had just gone to the States the day before. And I was like, oh, he's in trouble somewhere. I'm getting a call off someone in America. But it wasn't. Yeah, you know, I just kind of take each day as it comes now. It was a lot of fun. He turned out to be a lovely guy. I'd never met him before. Super nice guy. And he trained hard. I put him through his paces and he came through it. But I just take each person as an individual now. And some I get on with, some I don't.
With so much success, how do you manage not to lose the run of yourself?
Well, I had a pretty long list of demands that I needed for today, you know, the red M&Ms only. And thankfully, I'm in a sport that does not allow that. I go from the biggest show on a Saturday night. On Monday, I'm in the gym and I'm dealing with a blocked toilet, or I'm dealing with some 18-year-old kid getting ready for his first fight, or I myself are on the mat, and one of my students I've taught for 5 years is now beating me. So these things really keep your ego in check. So it's not been an issue so far.
One thing I don't understand, and I get it, right? You guys train for this and it is a sport, but is it still really tough sometimes to watch your student be in the ring? Like when they're winning, I suppose there's not a problem. But when they are taking a hit, and I was watching Notorious and I was actually flinching to see Conor taking punches and taking hits.
Yeah.
How do you sort of just go, okay, I'm disconnecting and just seeing this as a sport, or are there times where you just go, I can't?
That would be pretty funny if it was funny. No, don't get me wrong. Every hit that he takes, or any of my fighters take, I feel I'm taking it too. They're my students and they're my clients, if you want to say, but they're my friends as well. And it is a big part of our style as a gym is very defensive orientated. Very few of my guys take a lot of damage, and that's kind of their foundation. which I try to have them all doing, and then they put on their own flair on top of it. But yeah, it's tough, but you know, early on you realize that you do have to become separate to it, because otherwise you can't give advice. You know, you are just in between rounds going, oh my God, we should get out of here. He's hitting you in the face. But you just learn to, it's part of the game.
Finally, Conor is at the top of his game right now. How much longer do you think he can keep going for?
Kind of what we went back, you know, if I say his fighting style is very intelligent, he doesn't take a lot of shots. So some guys at 29, 30, they've a lot of miles on the clock, and you can kind of see it in their head and see it in their body, whereas he's quite fresh, because he's, you know, if you add up his 10 years of fighting, he's been hit probably less than some fighters get hit in a single fight. Yeah. So he's a young 29-year-old, I would say. I guess it really comes down to motivation. How long is he going to be able to motivate himself to get up early, to do the hard runs, to do the hard sparring, do the hard training when all his underwear is silk now?
Well, hopefully it's for a lot longer. John, thanks a million.
Thank you very much.